Hi everyone, here from a gray, rainy Friday in Chicago. I figured I would talk about something that's I think people tackle once in a while when you're trying something new or learning or expanding your experiences. Sometimes it doesn't quite work out how you like it to, and it can feel a little discouraging. Self-doubt can start to creep in. So I wanted to talk about and show how I look at emotions that sometimes are not the prettiest, but are definitely real. Ways for me to create art, partly just creating the art itself, can be the reconnection, the grounded feeling that I need, that just making art itself. But even if you aren't a painter yourself, artist yourself, creator in some way, art can still serve that purpose of reminding you that you're gonna get through it, or just to keep moving, to remind yourself that you have so much ability, that just to keep moving, even if it's not ideal, or you aren't quite where you'd prefer to be, or there's things about it that are frustrating. I know how you feel. I train in martial arts. I have trained in several different martial arts, and especially when you start out, but I mean, really, a lot of the time, there's days when I try things and I fail miserably at it, and I get knocked down and banged up, and most of the time it's my fault, but you kind of can feel heavy and weighed down and discouraged. Maybe you aren't quite sure how to approach it, how to do it properly. It can be frustrating. It's kind of like even the positive is a little bit tinted, dulled, because it can be quite frustrating to have self-doubt start to creep in like that. I understand that feeling. It is very heavy. It is very kind of pulling you down. It's a sinking kind of feeling. There's even some movement in it, although I feel like it is kind of slow. I would want kind of try not to add too much vibration in this, because it is kind of a heavy weighted feeling. And I think to always be focused on only the positive can kind of numb out the bad, or no, that's not quite the right word. No, I just don't think you can ignore the bad. I think it's there. So I think it's actually easier to kind of acknowledge it and tackle it a little bit, because there's usually bits of it that are not all bad, or kind of the way out. They're kind of the reflection of what you needed to know, what did you need to learn. If I continue with the martial arts metaphor, usually when I mess up, it helps me understand understand what I'm trying to do a little bit better, because I understand what I did wrong. Knowing what you shouldn't do sometimes can be just as helpful. So you have to acknowledge that you messed up, or you did it wrong, or you aren't getting it just right. That's always kind of the part that I don't like acknowledging. I want to be awesome and perfect, I'm sure. People might be able to relate to that. No one wants to suck at something for a while, but really that is where all the learning is, at least for me. That's where I figure out what would I rather have. So it's this heavy kind of pulling feeling. But on the other side of it, I don't want to stay in there forever. It's okay to acknowledge when you just are like, man, I'm bummed about this thing, or it's not where I want it to be, or I really want to improve. But I feel like if you keep moving, things can shift and start to pull you up and out. Sometimes when you're just about done with the crummy feeling is when it starts to shift. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's choosing to be done with the crummy feeling that helps you shift. I don't know. But I want to think that there's a possibility to pull out a warmth, a growth. I mean, I think it's also part of this movement of this up and down is kind of how it feels to like get out and then kind of fall back into old habits a little bit. I think that can happen when you're learning and growing, trying new things, and sometimes it's a success and you try it again and it didn't quite work out the same way the second time, but then you try again and again till you get the feeling of it. I think it's maybe less about the result and more about this trying, the process of trying. I know what it's like to be hanging out in the dark. Maybe it's memories of other times you've succeeded. Kind of start to bring you up and out. Belief in yourself. That kindness and love of knowing that you can work your way out of it. Keep working at it. Remembering to tap into people or resources or whatever helps you if it's a good teacher. It's going to kind of blend and pull you. There's a lot more movement. I guess it's kind of movement in the keep moving. A lot more kind of pulling you. Finding the avenues, the things that work for you, the ways to kind of navigate something that's complicated. Figuring out how to do it your way, the way that works for you. It's definitely a messy process as well. It's not super easy to just be stuck in the heavy and then pop right on out. That doesn't usually work very well. It is a lot of up and down, back and forth. But I think deciding that you can learn how, you can figure it out, you can get better at it, that's probably really important. It's these murky areas that are uncomfortable and hard to hang out in. But I suppose that's also where all the interesting things happen too, right? In these little murky areas where you're struggling, you're figuring it out, you're working through it, you're getting a little banged up. No one likes being here, but everyone likes being able to look back at it and say, like, that was it, I did that, I went through that, I learned so much from that. But I think part of it too is you have to know where you started, heavy, to be able to work your way out too, to find this place where it becomes natural, comfortable, where you know you have the confidence to maybe just make beautiful things, do different beautiful things, work, move in beautiful ways. A lot of that takes acknowledging where you are so you know how to move forward too. Being kind to yourself while you're in the place that maybe you don't want to be in at the moment. That's okay. Yeah, I think we've all been there. I've been there. I'm with you if you're feeling it right now. I have bruised myself up doing my own silly things. I've maybe not known the right move or the right way to misunderstanding the mechanics of it or things like that. Definitely wanted to just lay on the floor and remembering that you can figure it out. There's my dog Cameo. He likes getting drizzly. You can hear the rain pitter-pattering out there. I suppose rain is also kind of a reminder to look inward for resiliency when it's not a super bright, sunshiny, awesome day. I think it almost is starting to feel a little bit like sunrise on the horizon, kind of feeling like there are things to come. There's more in the future. Things will change. Everything changes. There's that possibility. It might be a bit heavy and dark right now, but that doesn't mean it'll be like that forever. And knowing where you are, I'm gonna go all metaphor crazy. If this is a sunrise, you wouldn't be getting mad at the sunrise for not coming sooner. If you understand what time it is and where you are, you can wait for it to come when it's ready. You're reminding yourself that you're strong enough and patient enough to wait it out. It's hard to be patient with yourself. I understand that one very well. Okay, I think that's about it for me today. I figured with it being about embracing the wherever you are, even if it is a little bit in the gloom and not fun area, I would also kind of show you a little bit of my whole setup here. It's a little bit rough. I like to tape down my acrylic paper so that it doesn't bubble so much and gives it nice clean edges once I take it off. Makes it nice for framing and gives it a sharp edge. And then my nice messy workspace, because I don't know, I assume most artists are messy. I am, at least when I'm working. I think that's part of it too, embracing the messiness of the process. Perfection does not live well with art, or maybe at all. So maybe give yourself a big hug and tell yourself you understand where we are right now and that there's more to come. Just keep on moving. Thanks. Have a great Friday.